We're going. We're live. Hello, everybody. How you guys doing this morning? Steve is over here.
I can't turn it
Hey,
off, bro. It's sacrilege. I don't care. It's only a few
well,
seconds.
turn it down then.
Okay, I can do that.
All right. See, who do we have? Jesse. Jesse was lurking. She's going to work right now. We have Jeff King in the house. Hey, Steve.
Yo,
Well, I'll wait. Hey, good morning. Yeah, I'll wait till we get a little bit more people on. Why do you get your camera off?
oh, I was over here jamming, and I know that the internet is forever, and this belongs to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey,
Oh,
Garcia. How you doing,
denial.
Berto?
That's all it is. A denial.
Berto's in the house.
All right, it's over. Man.
I'm living in paradise right now. It's only temporary, but I'm still enjoying it.
Yo, what is up?
Makes
Dude,
me feel like
I think I'm getting fat again, or the piston is going out in my in one of my computer chairs
oh, okay.
because it go like I be sitting sideways. I be sitting sideways in about 2-3 minutes. It just
Well, how old is the chair?
hell, I don't know. It's old. I know it's old. It's
Uh,
active duty days, so old.
yeah, I think that piston has lived its life.
So how you doing, man?
Enjoying life, dude.
Excited
Relaxing.
for the show. What a view. Beautiful view.
Oh, oh yeah.
Beautiful view, man.
Yeah, it's nice and
Look at
quiet. The
all
weather's
the
beautiful.
greenery.
Yep.
Oh man, we
Hey,
got a
Jeffrey,
crowd in here today. Who we got in here? I'm gonna do the roll call since you
go ahead.
over there. I can see the computer. So Corey Dorval, what's up, Jess? She says she gonna work and lurk. RJ says hi, what's good with it, homie? Jeff Kane in the house, what's good with you? Garcia in the house, what's good, Garcia? What's up, Berto? Watts Water, hola, ¿cómo estás? Nathan Hovey, what's up,
Yep.
Nate? I hope it's cool to call you Nate. I don't want to be disrespectful. So I have this weird thing, y'all, to where like your name is a sacred, special thing, and it holds a certain power over you. You know what I'm saying? And how you address people really shows where you are with them and your value. This is me. This is how I think. So like a name is an intimate thing. So that's why I always try to say like a nickname, or I ask, hey, what are you comfortable being called? Because your name is sacred, it's important, you know.
Yeah.
Like your mama gave you that name, and your old man, you know. But at least your mama, because she was there. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
sometimes you don't get to pick your name, so you rather go by something else.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. What do you want to be called? You know, like my government name, you can't call me that unless we related or sleeping together. One of the two. It's cringe, bro.
Yeah.
Well, you look good, bro. You look
Well,
vacationed.
that's what happens when you take time off from work and you disconnect.
Yeah. It do feel good to disconnect, baby.
Oh yeah, it recharges you. It gives you more energy to continue to do what it is you're doing. The only problem is you wish you could do this more often.
Oh, it's not a problem.
Hey Jake,
It's not a
you
problem.
actually said my last name correctly, and
Bro,
Nathan is surprised.
Yeah, so check this out, Nate. So in the military, you know, we go predominantly my ass. We only go by last name.
Yeah.
There will be some instances where you might get tight and you on a first name basis because the rules don't
Nah,
matter. Are you
seldom.
getting shot at?
Yeah.
You know, there's kind of no rules when you're in the sandbox. You know, shit get different, and it's rare. But if you're in a little small tight unit, you might, and it's rare, like I said. But it's last names, so like you don't butcher somebody's last name. And it is a
Yeah.
very American thing. And I think it's the most disrespectful shit on the planet that we use humor and euphemisms to camouflage our discomfort or ignorance. So instead of being vulnerable and trying to properly say someone's last name, they just butcher it or they laugh or mock it or they just, I can't say that. And it's an American thing. It's just the rudest, most disrespectful thing you can do because your last name is your legacy. That's your blood. That's your heritage. You know, like your ancestors. And you at least attempt to say it correctly. And if I butcher it in an attempt to say it correctly, I would hope that the person can deduce my intentions and then correct me, and we move forward with our interaction pleasantly. That's all. But you good.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
So,
by the way, before we get any further, happy belated birthday, brother.
man, you had to bring it up.
What
Appreciate
is it,
it,
43
man.
now?
Huh?
43?
No.
42?
No.
Ah, you don't want to say. Okay, that's fine.
26.
Yeah, my ass. My shoes are older than that.
26.
Yeah, 26. By two, probably.
26.
No, it's not. That would put you at my age category. I don't think so.
Ah, no. You know what? I saw something on the thing that was funny. And you remember a while ago, I was telling you, we got the best music, right?
Yeah.
Partying. Like, I made a comment, y'all. I said, man, the music, like life, before them damn towers fell. Oh my God. Like, we
But
had the best
okay,
music, the best songs. Like, we
here's
vibed,
where
baby.
here's where me and you are gonna differ on that because each era or each decade
Mm-hmm.
has contributed his own thing,
Right.
and anybody in that area or that group of a point in time is gonna argue that that was the best music
I
of all
don't
time.
disagree with you.
What's beautiful about music is that it's ever evolving. It changes. It's
Yeah.
always progressing. So, to say that one particular era in time is the best, that's kind of
Well, I'm put to you like this. If I play a song from then, like you heard what I was listening to
yeah.
early, what was I rocking?
I think it was no, not Pro Jam, Stone
I was
Temple
on the
Pilots.
Fighters first,
Oh,
Everlong, and then I think it went into what we was on a while ago, the Nirvana.
hey
And
Tommy.
that music right there, what I'm saying is it just goes across. Like it goes
Okay, you're being prejudiced because
everybody listen to it.
it's a music that you like. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was of the age of that time, I didn't listen to that music. I didn't appreciate it
You
until
paying bills probably though.
I didn't appreciate. Now I do. Now I think it's
Paying
really
bills.
good music. But
I
you also got to remember when you're of a certain age, you tend to be more narrow in your thinking, and you're not as willing to accept stuff that's different or from a different perspective. At that time when this was going on, I was deeply into hip hop, and I didn't care about any other music other than hip hop. So now that I've learned to appreciate a broader spectrum of music and the intricacies of what music is, and actually listen to lyrics and and stuff like that, melodies, and it's a different
See,
significant. I can agree with you,
I was
but
on.
that
I mean,
okay.
I was on that because I like music. You know what I'm saying? I can read it. I play an instrument. Blah blah blah. All that. So like, I do agree with you that it is a narrow viewpoint, and I think society shapes that as well. You know, because it was some stuff that I wanted to listen to, and I listened to it, or I would explore it, but I didn't do it publicly, and I never acknowledged it. It'd be like one of them weird things in an elevator or something, some goddamn where he'd be like, "Hey, you listen to them too?" And you know, or like they be playing a song in the grocery store, and you get caught slipping, and you sing a couple lyrics, or you catch that little beat, finish that rhythm off that you only can know if you've had this song on repeat.
Well, it's
You
funny
know,
that you talk about the music and elevators. You start learning realizing how old you are when all of a sudden the music playing in the elevator is songs that you were jamming to when you were younger, and it's like, oh wait a minute, that's this song. And now it's elevator music.
hey, I mean, it is true. I was
Hey,
gonna,
Cora.
he said, I'm gonna try not.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, I think the difference is we're not doing videos or playing
yeah,
music on your intro. But
I-
again, it doesn't really matter because this channel's not monetized or anything. So
but I
we're
think we
good.
did it the right way. The way I don't think they would have taken it down. I think you got like so many
No,
second.
I don't even think it's available for people to watch the replay though. They stripped it
Oh
completely.
no, it don't exist. It's gone
Yeah,
from the ether.
but you
Like,
know what? You know what? I guess what's cool is for those that were joining us that evening, they got to a special treat that nobody else is going to be able to experience.
101, bro. Limited
Yep.
edition. That was a drop. We did the merch drop that night. If you was on deck, you got it. If you wasn't, sorry for your luck. You know,
Well, I guess I better address the elephant in the room for those that are not aware. I guess it's obvious that I'm not sitting in my fish room, and it's obvious I'm not sitting anywhere in Arizona because everything's green behind me. I'm actually out on vacation. We came out celebrate my wife's birthday, so we decided to come out to Mexico. So those of you that have been following me on Instagram have kind of seen a little bit of what we were at and what we're doing. Yeah, just doing some the regular touristy stuff. But obviously, we have a commitment, and it would have been real easy for me to just say, "Hey, Steve, can you just do this today?" And I'll take a pass. But luckily, my wife is pretty agreeable, and she was like, "All right, go ahead and do your stream." But everything comes at a cost.
happy birthday to the missus, by the way.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah, I'll let her know. And everything comes at a cost because this is pretty much my one and done, and then I got to put the phone away and then disconnect totally.
see, I mean, I've been there. I understand. You know, I got dog housed for, I don't know, a hot minute
Yeah.
after that vacation stream. So, yeah, one
Looks
and
like
done.
Coral's trying to save up some money to
Build a
put up
barn
a pond in his
today.
yard. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, but
Coral, you need to learn how to allocate, bro. Allocate. I didn't say steal. I said allocate.
yeah.
Back to Coral.
I guess for those, obviously today we don't really have a, a set stream like we normally do, where we'll plan it out.
Right.
As many of you guys noticed, we didn't even get around to posting it. Um, uh, until yesterday afternoon, real or early this morning, I think is when we finally set
Right.
up
And
the
we kind
stream.
of did that for a reason, y'all. Because like George said, he's been doing his thing. This is my birthday week, and then I had some other obligations. I've been super busy. And I kind of wanted to fill it out when we got up here and see which direction we wanted to go. And there was a few things that we proposed. And one of them I would like to go ahead and talk about now, just seeing how everybody's in here vibing, you know.
Okay.
And what that is you're in Mexico now.
Yes.
And you know, we've been talking about this, and I want to bring it out here to the group to get this knowledge out based on this comment that's on the screen that you're seeing of Coro getting ready to buy a pond. So I want to talk about what we're doing with the space we have available, how we're planning it going into it, and what's the purpose, what's the inspiration moving forward for these said projects. Right? Because you're in Mexico.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you're talking about that because I was actually going to talk about something that wasn't necessarily that we hadn't really discussed, but it's going to tie in perfect to what you're talking about. So I'm not once we get done with what you're doing, I'll kind of give you my 2 cents. But
okay, no, it's like crazy. It's like clairvoyance or something. X-Men. So we got these spaces, these projects. What are we doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're in Mexico right now, and you was giving let me get a little sample of the layout, how it looks, and you know, I am a ditch watcher, a proud ditch watcher. I'm a freelance botanist, and you know, I do this. It's cool, and we're talking about vacation, tourism projects, and making space, right? Across the street from me, they're doing a little bit of work here to extend the development. And I was thinking about the displacement, right? What's going to happen to all them critters that have made a home there because of the diaspora, because of urban sprawl?
Yeah.
And now they're displaced again. Where they going to go? So you got the initial casualties of, you know, the stuff that gets killed in the process of the development, and then the stuff that gets killed running, and then the displaced stuff that tries to get in where it can, on top of the pre-existing ecosystems, right? So,
but it's interesting because down here, and I was talking to the homeowner. It's they call this in Mexico the heart of Mexico. That's what it's known as. San Miguel de Allende is that's why if you walk around town, you see all these hearts everywhere,
right?
And that's because it's supposed to be the heart of the country.
Oh wow!
It's the very center. It's everything, and so and it looks like colonial times down here, but because it's such a beautiful place, and the word gets out that the way this place is and what it offers, obviously it attracts a lot of tourism. Well, the problem that goes hand in hand with that is that as you get an increase in tourism, you get a lot of investment opportunities. And right now, one of the biggest issues that they have down here is that now where it used to be very small, quaint hotels that were, old haciendas, government buildings that got converted over to hotels. Well, now on the outskirts, you're having these mega resorts coming in. And one of the things that we were talking about is because he found out that I work for the water department, was the issue of water. Right through a couple of blocks down the street from where we're staying at, there used to be a regular flowing little creek. Well, that's not the case anymore. The only time it really flows now is when they have a big rainfall, and I guess they have a dam here, a reservoir, that they'll release water periodically if they get a big rain. But other than that, that's kind of that within the last maybe 10 years has gone away, where it's no longer a constant flowing stream of water. And I know I bring this up because one of the things that you were asking me when I was telling you about that is there anything in the water? Well, unfortunately, what's happened is this little waterway, the water you see running through there mostly is just the gray water from some of the communities that runs into the creek.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have anything. All that wildlife that was there is gone, and that unfortunately is becoming a reoccurring issue here in Mexico, especially when you start getting a lot of these tourist sites. Um, what happens is you start having these, like I said, these mega resort places that'll have an upwards of 200 rooms. Well, you got to provide water for them. So the water starts becoming
Exactly.
scarce. Starts becoming scarce. It starts becoming a commodity that they're willing to bribe for. Because unfortunately, that's as sad as a reality that is. That's what happens. The people that have been established and living in this area for hundreds of years are now being subjugated to getting their water taken away because you have new companies that are coming in here and are buying those rights from those people that so it's one of those double-edged swords where yes, it's a beautiful place to come and visit, but when you start understanding the repercussions of the tourism industry and what it's doing to the wildlife out here,
Mm-hmm.
that's where it's kind of like, well, how do you strike a balance? And that's the $1 million question there. How do you balance that you can still be able to have some prosperity for the community without really being at a ecological effect to them?
Well, I think that's where we come in, right?
Yep.
And it goes back to what Coro is saying. And you look at some of the tanks, right? Some of the homies is doing tanks that we need to talk about because we're talking about fish.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit up here and argue about goddamn animal husbandry, but I'm going to give credit where credit is due because that's what we're here for. Because I got a growth mindset. So you got cats doing the biotopes. You know what I'm saying? The homie running the tank with the frontosas in there, but it's a biotope of the lake though. And
Yeah.
then you got the homie running the tank with the cider stumps.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Corey Aqua.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got all kind of you got the son ABC is out running tanks. You got the river set up.
Yep.
Jets, she got a couple little different biotopes she playing with. You see what I'm saying? So I'm sitting up.
Well, I think that's cool, but I also now, the more and more I get into the hobby, because you're you're never really complete, and there's always going to be more and more you want to do.
Right.
Now I'm starting to get an appreciation for some of these people that'll keep some of the native species,
Well,
even though
that's
they're not.
exactly what you took it right out of my mouth, literally. And that's what I was getting at. I'm about to share my screen. And that's what I was getting at. Like these tanks, right? And then you're getting into it deeper. You're starting to appreciate these natives, right?
Yeah.
And look at these habitats, right? Now, a lot of these fish that you getting at your big boxes, Petco, PetSmart, etc. They're not in the wild. I'm going to give you an example. Okay. The diamond tetra, you damn near cannot find it in the wild in its native habitat because of pollution, basically because of human activity. Okay. It
Well,
is damn near
that's
extinct.
a lot of species too, though.
Right. Exactly. And that's what I'm getting at. So going to what you're saying and what I'm pulling up here, the natives here, we lose.
Okay.
The ones in Mexico are getting lost because of the development, the tourism, etc., displacement. Now we have a platform, we have an opportunity to take that appreciation that you have for the natives, make it multifaceted, make it
Well,
re-prevalent in the hobby again, to not only save these species, but to give other people share that depth, that pleasure, share it with them too, because it's all about access. A lot of people just don't know that
Yeah,
here in America we have
yeah.
so
That's
many
why I think
species.
it's important. It's important that we that the channels like Kenny's ABC Biotopes
Right.
or the I forget his name, but he's Cold Water Tanks, I think, and
Mhm.
they really do a lot of the natives, and it's what I've always said. We always seem to want what we don't have, and we're so quick to disregard what we have here locally, just because we know it's here and it's common, and unfortunately we don't take the time to really appreciate it until it's gone. These fish that you're talking about, CBDs, white cloud minnows, stuff that are appealing to the people in the hobby. Unfortunately, they're fish that have become extinct in their own natural habitats.
Right.
And well, are we going to wade into our own fish that we have here natively, go through the same process to finally have them become desirable? That's the one thing where I appreciate those types of channels to really bring focus to the fact that some of the stuff that we have here locally rivals just as much as what we find from other countries, and that even though right now we still have an abundance of them, it shouldn't mean that we shouldn't be protecting them. And yeah, I'm glad you're bringing that up so you can show them what we're talking about.
Right. And this is what I'm getting at right here, y'all. I just had to get it pulled up. So if you look, these are the fish I'm talking about. And I'll find a link to this. But this is research that I pulled. Like, I'm always reading, I'm always trying to learn, because stuff changes. And what happens is you get people in these echo chambers with their little bullshit window of exposure to stuff. And while they're not necessarily wrong, they the farthest thing from right, if there was one, because that's a subjective word. And we lose out on so much opportunity to have positive exchanges of information and actually move in a direction. Like, keeping fishes cool. And I'm not saying everybody got to go be a damn missionary and get a doctorate in ichthyology. What I'm saying is there's so much stuff out there. And while we're making space, while we're making availability in our fish rooms and expanding, this appreciation is here. Okay. This fish is critically freaking endangered, as you can see. Can you see that pretty good, or do I need to expand it?
No, make it solo. Yeah, there you go. Make it a little bit bigger.
How about that?
More. A little bit more. Right there. Now you can scroll down to what you're. There you
Okay,
go. Perfect.
right there. Look at that. And that's what you got. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's
Well,
this.
I
Go ahead.
guess really what it is. I guess the
No,
message is, or at least that
this is
I'm
a
trying to tell
yes.
people is,
Give me a second.
if you have a natural waterway in your area, be
There's something.
curious. Be curious. Go take a look. Doesn't necessarily mean to take what's there, because sometimes that stuff is protected. You can't take it.
Exactly.
But it doesn't mean you can't go see what's there and appreciate what you have.
Get
Uh,
excited. Start digging.
yes, and a lot of the times, all it really does take to be able to collect some of the stuff is just a fishing license, and some of those species you can have.
Exactly.
And it's kind of cool. And I'm not saying convert all your tanks over to native fish. That's not what this is about. But it'd be cool to have at least one aquarium of maybe 5 that you have that you can dedicate to some of your local stuff, because you don't know what's going to happen down the road. Things happen. Look at
Speaking of,
what's going on. Look at what's happening in Ohio. You
speak
know,
of what's not happening down the road. Go get books. This book right here, bro. This ain't scripted, y'all. This book is called Disappearing Fishes of North America, okay? And go get real books, because they're going to take the damn books away. This is hard information that you can't just go edit on freaking Wikipedia. And use this. But taxonomy is ever evolving. But look what George said, what's happening in Ohio. When I look at this book, when you go to the bibliography and look, this book was freaking written in 1983, I believe. And there was already species on the way out. Like it goes by state, right? It goes by ecosystem. So like you got Texas springfish. Like we got like 7-8 kinds of gambusia. 3-4 of which are like critically endangered. Where you at on the Colorado River, right, Jorge? Like,
Yeah.
Do you know what the Moapa Dace is? Read the story about the Moapa Dace and how organizations and fish clubs saved that damn fish that was in a muddy pond in the cow patch or some damn where that was about to get bulldozed.
Well, that's what they're doing in Arizona. What they're doing is trying to recuperate the pupfish because
it's in this book. They've been doing this since the 80s, trying to save this fish. And it was hobbyists working with the scientists who are able to get that done. Local fish clubs, exactly. And that's what I think that's where my passion comes from. It's like I have this expedient sense of urgency that we have such a great opportunity. Like, dude, I've been on YouTube since freaking 2011. You know, I never really cared to flex my tanks. I don't, you know what I'm saying? But I'll share them, and it's dope. It's cool, and vlogging's fun. It's a cool way to share. But I'm like, I guess that's just me, dude. They've been trying to save this fish since 1983. Before that, some of them we lose, some of them we keep. And
do you have any links for that book?
I do have links. Matter of fact, here.
Go ahead and post them if you can in the chat.
Okay, dude. This has an index of every. This has an index of every state and research organizations per state. It has the threatened references to threatened and endangered fish. And this is an old book, so it's like addresses and stuff. So I'm just gonna say some names, and because it's on the internet, it can be paused and listened to. And then I'll try to do my diligence moving forward and start posting some of this information on our various media outlets. I can do that. So like these are just general conservation organizations, right? You got the Center for Environmental Education. You got the National Wildlife Federation. You got the Nature Conservancy. You got Friends of the Earth, National Audubon Society. You got the Sierra Club. Y'all know about the Sierra Club.
Yeah, you got to be careful with them, though.
Exactly. But
they want to shut everybody down.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, no, finish what you're doing, because there is something I do need to bring up.
The main ones is the American Fisheries Society and the American Rivers Conservation Council. What happened in Ohio is catastrophic. And people, we don't, it's not sensationalized to understand that like this is the modern day equivalent of Exxon Valdez. But in one of the main freshwater arteries of North America, not just our country, North America. And it all goes from me wanting to eat some disco biscuits and look at my fish tank when I ain't got to go to work, I ain't got no homework to do, you know? So just the impact of it, you know? Go ahead, George.
No. You know how, because we've been having this conversation back and forth, and we thought it was done. It was done, was again the Lacey Act.
Right.
And I was watching Consolidated Farms had put out a post recently Where in Florida, they're going now state by state. They tried doing it, all the United States. But I think what they're going to start doing is they're going to start taking it state by state, where it could probably be a little bit easier to pass this. And so once again, we need to start getting educated. We need to start paying attention to what our political parties are doing, because this hobby could realistically come to an end. And as much as I hate to see it, to say it, we really do need to get involved. We need to pay attention to what's going on. We need to read that information to
And
fully understand what is implicated with these restrictions.
George, you brought up a very, very valid point. And it's about, how do you get involved? How do you focus your efforts so they're going to be the most effective? And how do you do this in the most efficient manner possible, right?
Yeah.
And while you do have organizations like the most household ones now is Piava and the CARES Act, right? The CARES
Okay.
Act. Okay, so those are great. Those are great. What you're talking about, though, is where the average hobbyist, me, you, the regular us, the fish fan, if you will, right?
Yeah.
You having these keynote speakers, when you're having these meetings, like when Ryan is posting on Wild Fish Tanks, he's always posting him going up to the Pasco County Fish Club and so on and so forth. Aquafunk, they talk about being in the community out there in Florida down there, right? Cool.
Yeah.
Then you look at the legislation and the bureaucracy. What we as hobbyists have to do is we have to get in the belly of the beast. What gets overlooked is them other organizations are good organizations, but it is aligned behind commerce, not necessarily conservation and legislation, because the money that we spend goes back to those communities and helps them subsist. You see what I'm saying? And also it helps conserve and educate, etc. What these people are using as leverage to take our hobby away is that very fact that we are making a commodity out of life. Number one, we're not conserving. Number two, and number three, that we are wreaking ecological havoc on the already fragile, declining ecosystem that we do have, and it needs to come to a stop. And that's really what pissed me off and made me say, fuck them polar bears, because they're trying to bamboozle people and take my fish tanks away. No, not today.
Let me ask you something, Steve, because I know you're a little bit more involved and informed, but I know that the reptile community actually has an organization that lobbies for them. It's, I believe, U.S. Art.
It is. It is.
Is,
It is
is there anything similar to that for the fish community? Is there any?
To my knowledge, I don't know. I
Okay.
would like to say the closest thing would be the American Herpetological and Ichthyological Society.
Okay.
But then again, I don't know. And then, like I said, you got those two households, Piaba and CARES, and I mean, that's kind of what it is. And and people support it. And I support them both too, by the way. And it's altruistic. It's very altruistic because it's good intentions. But when it comes to legislation and when it comes to grassroots conservation laws being passed, what people fail to realize is we're working against money, interest, and bureaucracy. That's it. At the end of the day, these people don't give a damn about them minnows. Can we sell them? Can we farm them? Is it a feasible industry that can be taxed, structuralized, monetized, and maintained? If that's not the case, then what do you want me to do? Like, if we can't sensationalize this and make money off of it, i.e., making some commercials with Sarah McLaughlin in the background and charging people, $45 to go walk around in the bushes, you
Well,
know.
you see, the problem is not necessarily the conservation aspect of it. The problem becomes where it becomes illegal to transport
Right.
uh, species that have been in the hobby for a very long time, and it becomes illegal to do it intrastate, not necessarily between countries. So basically, what me sending you those those killifish in the future would be illegal. I would not be able to do that. So that's the big concern.
That's
Is
funny you said that because when I was in Florida, when they were going through with the Lacey and the Brady, both of them, um, they went after the big three for constrictors, for constrictor
okay.
type snakes. So they went after the rock python, they went after the Burmese python, and they went after the reticulated. They went after those three, and everybody in Florida was freaking out. And what they did with that legislation is they actually created an illicit black market, right?
Yeah.
And you got places where that shit's legal. Those animals are legal. So it's pretty incentivized to run some damn snakes from state X to state G for said money. And it's whatever, because at that stage in the game, there's no honor among thieves. I don't give a damn about your law. I want this snake. I'm gonna do what it takes to get it. Obviously, if I'm hiding it from you, big government, I'm gonna take all the necessary precautions to make sure that it don't escape. Kind of intrinsic, because I'm hiding it from you, big government. So that's what this legislation creates. And then you end up with them problems of a goddamn gaboon viper being found in a suburban neighborhood at the mailbox. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think this is the problem that I have with a lot of this legislation, that it's reactive. And what I mean by that, um,
It is.
they're trying to do stuff about that after the fact. It's not the people that are keeping whatever species today that are the ones responsible for the problem that some of these states have. Uh, you
That's
know,
right.
it's been something that might have happened years and years ago, and because they're predators that are unchecked, they've been able to establish themselves and thrive. Um, but it doesn't necessarily mean that today's hobbyists are the ones that are responsible for that.
That's right.
And that's where I take issue with the whole legislation. Is why are you punishing responsible hobbyists when this is something that happened? Even it doesn't. What the situation they have now did not happen overnight. This
Well,
really
I'm
was.
I'm going to say something that I think is really significant, and I think it gets overlooked a lot. And if you guys go back and look at our episode when we had Amazon Research Silly on, one of the things that was mentioned is researchers and hobbyists is two different things. Okay? So when you get these institutions like EPA and so on and so forth, and they say, we're going to set aside said grant of said money to go do research on this. And then you get these college kids and they go out there, with their hard-ons, and they go and they do their data and they write their papers and their thesis and they submit their documents with the abstract and then the full paper, right? They're not
Yeah.
hobbyists. They're not hobbyists.
Well,
Then
if yeah,
you
go ahead.
see
Go
what
ahead.
I'm saying? And
Yeah.
what happens is they they hyper focus on specific things that, while they're not lies, they're misleading. And it's put in a language that is specific to where if you don't have a degree in a biological science, you're not going to be able to understand what they're saying. So then you look at something poignant, which is what you said, which is you're in Mexico. The gray water is going into the ecosystem and having said ecological effects that you described. You know that because you're a hobbyist, and because of the interest that you have in the hobby, you are able to do further research and tie that with your everyday life grown man knowledge together and deduce such things. Now, Joe Schmo watching the news at 9 o'clock, listening to a hit piece, he don't know about that shit. All he knows is, man, them damn snakeheads. I don't want that. It's killing. Whoop whoop whoop. Yeah, put the poison in there. Pass that bill. Or this weed is choking on waterways. Yeah, put the poison in there. Pass that bill. Or this is doing this. It's bad. So what I'm getting at is it's all predicated by fear, which is possible because of the ignorance. And when you can sensationalize it like that, that's how this legislation gets passed. So to answer your question, why are us responsible hobbyists getting punished? It's because while we may be responsible hobbyists, we're civically irresponsible human beings. Like me, I'm a political dude. You know me. Like I'm not the average cat. So like this shit on my radar anyway. So I'm gonna merge my life together. I try to get that synergy going, you know. And the majority of people, they not civically responsible, so they don't understand what's really going on. It's not personal. This is business. Those college kids are gonna write them papers and say what the people who pay the bills tell them to say. We have PACs in America. PACs run this damn country. And if the PACs are getting the grants to push the money for the lobbyists to fund these damn colleges, is to do these studies to get X, Y, and Z legislated in some blanket legislation, because what does an invasive cichlid have to do with putting flavors in e-liquid and targeting it to kids? But if you look at these legislations, they're passing bullshit like that in the same laws under the guise of we're gonna protect you. So when it goes to the why are the responsible hobbyists being punished, it goes to civic responsibility versus education versus ignorance and the purposeful sensationalization of available data. This is all empirical data that if you, and this is what I want to say to y'all, because my old lady was pissed at me because I had forgot to pay Netflix. And I had took that Netflix money and I had got a subscription to a research website, a research institution. So you paid a subscription and now you got access to all this research. And what I'm saying is, with the prevalence of social media, with the prevalence of YouTube, with the fact that now everybody can have a podcast, everybody can have an opinion. Shit, all you need is a cell phone or Wi-Fi, and you can you that dude now. So our levels of discernment are gonna vary, but we have a responsibility. You see what I'm saying?
Well, it's not bad though. It's not all bad that people nowadays have a platform to say what they want to say. That's
Right.
actually that's perfect, because that's really respecting the First Amendment.
But I'm saying to pay for the access to the research, it ain't no different than subscribing to Netflix or Hulu or anything like that. So since everybody discernment is gonna vary, there's so much information out there, it
Yeah.
don't hurt to invest in good information. And
Well,
I'm
and
focusing on
here's the one thing that really surprised me that I didn't know. And this is just because you have people that are researching fish doesn't necessarily mean that they understand the fish. And what I'm getting
it
at is,
though.
as hobbyists,
We understand them.
we take a lot of time understanding behaviors,
Mhm.
understanding cycles, understanding what breeding, all of that. Whereas a lot of research, places, they're studying a specific thing. So they wouldn't know what to keep the fish in, what kind of parameters, what kind of conditions, what triggers them to breed. It's you, a lot of people don't give hobbyists the credit that they deserve because as a hobbyist, you really do know all the ins and outs of whatever it is you're keeping. To the point where you become a subject expert matter on whatever it is you're housing, much more than any research facility will ever know, because
Mhm.
they're there to, like I said, study a specific thing, and that's all they have time for. They're not there to put the time in to see them grow out from fry, to see what they do as juveniles, to see what they do as mature fish.
Right.
That's not what they're doing, because nobody's paying for that.
You hit the nail on the head with that one big time. Research is research.
Mm-hmm.
There's rules to research. There's rules to taxonomy. It's a science for a reason. It's a system. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're gonna we're gonna take measurements. We're gonna count the scales in the lateral line. We're gonna count anal fin rays. We're gonna look at the operculum. We're gonna look at the biological anatomy of this fish. Is a caudal peduncle present? Does it have a pelvic fin? Is the pelvic fin, is it fused to the caudal fin? Is the adipose fin significant or slightly present? Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? There are rules. Whereas us as hobbyists, it's exactly what you said. We're putting time into taking the observations of knowing the fish, knowing the behavior. And me, I have taken both my whole life and put both together. And to what you have said is we really don't get the credit as hobbyists that we deserve. And I think part of that, the onus is on us. And the takeaway is now we have social media. We got a platform. We don't got to go to fish clubs. We don't have to sacrifice Saturdays to meet at the damn VFW somewhere to talk about cichlids and, listen to some old dude bitching about sponge filters because that's his window. That's what he's had success with his whole time. But we don't know that he had an 8th grade education and had to leave to go work on the farm, but he was smart and knew about fish. He just wasn't educated, you know? And it's what happens when you make assumptions, though. Now we got a platform. And it's like, I don't have to change who I am, you know? I don't have to change my haircut or like I got grills and whatever. It's going to be out here. It's on the internet forever. As long as somebody can press play and listen, the information is there. And the people get to choose and decide who they want to listen to. I'm just sharing the information and in the hopes that it takes on, because I do have a sense of urgency. Bulldozers is running 24 hours a day, you know? And we lose a lot of cool species. I got another book I found. I'm going to go look for it. And it's
Yeah.
got the natives in it. And it's that book I was telling you about a few episodes back. When we had
Okay.
Big Hank on, I was a
Okay.
little kid And I was like, when my mom got killed, we moved from Houston. I had to go live in the country with my granny. Hey, there ain't no pet stores in the country, fool. The ditch was my pet store. So we go to the municipal library, a little summer reading program. I grabbed a freaking Roger Tory Peterson field guide. And I had my ass out there with some cutoff shorts, flip flops, and a bucket, catching this shit. I've been an ichthyologist since I was a kid and didn't even know it. If they'd have had YouTube back then, I'd be balling. Trying to tell you.
Yeah. Well, let me take this moment then to say hello to the people that have just joined us. It looks like Laura Victoria was here for a minute. She said she was going to be lurking today. We had Clearbox Swimmers. Ethan, thank you for joining us today. Let's see. Coral Works. We have Vibes Aquatics. Eddie, thank you for lurking today. Fish Fan Link, thank you very much. Appreciate all the help getting people to go ahead and hit the like button for us. I appreciate what you're doing. Aquaballs George, thank you very much. Let me see. And I think that was pretty much it. I think I'm caught up with.
Here's just one page of natives. This is how the book looks. Look at that. These are all darters native to North America. And, you know, I was telling Jorge, let me get you back up. I was trying to show the book, my bad.
No, it's good.
Imagine, you know, I'm a kid, you know, 10, 11, something like that, a kid. This was like manna from heaven, colorized pictures. And it's a field guide. It teaches you how to use it. The key, it teaches you how to use a map, how to learn latitude and longitude, how to learn drainages, how to learn Latin, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it teaches you. And then, like, you can go to the back to the index and it'll have the map, the key map of the range of it. You know?
Well, what's great about those books too is that you actually get to see what these fish look like when they're fully colored up.
Exactly. And if it's not pictured, it has a description in it. This is a taxonomic fish description. And I mean, I've been doing this since I was a kid. It'll be stuff like this. Sheep's head minnow. Identification. Extremely deep bodied. 5 to 8. Triangular shaped dark gray-brown bars along silver, olive side. Wide at top. Narrow on lower side. Green to blue-gray above. Large dark brown blotches on rear half of upper side. White below. Clear to light orange fins. Breeding male is blue above and has white dark gray bars alongside. Parentheses. Best developed at rear. Brass salmon cheek, breast and belly. Dusky orange fins. Black edge on caudal fin. Fully scaled belly. Then it goes into the physical description. Fully scaled belly. 22 to 28 lateral scales. 10 to 12 dorsal rays, 9 to 11 anal rays, 6 to 8 pelvic rays, 18 to 22, usually 19 to 21 gill rakers on first gill arch to 3 inches, 7.5 centimeters. Then it goes into the range. It goes into the remarks. The remarks are always showing you that taxonomy is not concrete. This is science saying that there ain't no one fucking way to do stuff. And it'll say in the remarks. Dude, it just makes me so mad, bro. But we're in a profession.
Yeah.
It'll say something like, lake inhabiting individuals of fishes are often more elongate than their counterparts in streams. Although populations of sheep's head minnow and Lake Eustis and other headwater lakes of the Ocalawa River in central Florida have been recognized taxonomically, as a Lake Eustis minnow, Cyprinodon hubsey. Shut up, Alexa. See, Big Brother's listening. Alexa listened to me talking about this fish and started reading the definitions of the fish. I'm done.
Playing Uncommon Ground with
Shut up.
from Amazon Music.
What triggered Alexa?
I don't know.
They have to inspect what?
I don't know. I'm reading this shit on the description of the fish, but that's the gist of it. And then Alexa goes into her thing. And now I got an Asian Hate with Lisa Ling podcast on my phone with Van Jones. Ugh. Gross. But it goes into it, and this is an old book. This is like from the 90s. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now we got the internet. We can get this going. You see what I'm saying? But that's just all this. Everything in this book is native to North America, and they even have a few of the ones in North Mexico, so like the border, they talk about the Herictes cichlid. Even here, like they were already acknowledging some of the invasives, and they were already vilifying the hobby back then, because it says it in here too, like a lot of the hypostomus and like your loricaridae catfishes and your different cichlids, etc., that have naturalized in a lot of places. Some of your thermally heated water bodies north of the Mason-Dixon line, but they still have fusilids in them. Like, they got swordtails and shit in a geothermal lake in Utah. Like, why is Xiphophorus hilariae in Utah? You feel me?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So just go into it. Go ahead.
No. The whole thing, it's interesting because it kind of makes me sad, I guess.
Yeah.
When there's so much stuff that's a lot more important than to sit there and debate senseless stuff.
Yeah.
I think there's better ways that we could use, and I understand. Well, I guess, okay, here's the thing though. Unfortunately, the way this works is that you need to have sensationalized titles and you got to create clickbait. That's just one of the things that I still refuse to fall into or to deal with, because I'm of the opinion that I think the information holds more value, and the people that really want to seek it out will seek it out.
Right.
That's the other stuff. I guess if it's become a source of revenue for you and that's the way you make a living, then that's the way you make a living, and you got to play by those rules. What is so interesting though is to see people within the community that are a lot smarter than that to fall into that trap and start playing that game and start. That's the one part that is a little disappointing.
It's disheartening.
It's because we're all grown people at the end of the day,
right.
and we all know what we know, and like I've always preached is that nothing is 100% exact. Everybody has their own way of doing stuff, and if it's successful and it's working, why is it wrong? It's just it's frustrating that so much time gets spent and energy on debating each other whether this is right, that's wrong, you should do this, you shouldn't do that. When in reality, at the end of the day, it's real simple. Do what works for you. Right. And you're having success with it, keep up with it. Right. Regardless of whoever is in front of this camera is saying whatever they're saying, that's fine. That's what's working for them. Right. Yes, that doesn't mean you can't take some of that stuff and run with it. And because I've learned so much from other people, but to try to tell me that's the only way to do something, nah, go, take a walk, because that's not true.
Right. And you know what? I'm gonna say this, and then I don't even want to waste no more time on it no more. Me and you. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine.
So I'm gonna say this. It goes back to what you said earlier of why the hobby is being punished. Okay. Everything you just said, I have nothing to add to about. It's more than one way to do stuff. In regards to arguing about stuff and wasting time, I'm going to say this. When I was using the ditch as my pet store, I got a freaking express course in animal husbandry because the majority of the fish located in this book right here, some of which we do not have anymore in the wild, by the way, you ain't going to no pet store to figure out how to care for them properly. And because they are native and because it is tied up in legislation and bureaucracy, you're not going to see them farmed on a mass scale in Florida. So they can't end up in Petco's and local fish stores all over the country. But us responsible, independent hobbyists, we can go and take the necessary steps, do the necessary paperwork, pay the necessary money because we're serious. And we can gain access to specimens of these fish. And not only can we keep them and enjoy them as the hobbyists we are, we can also do something for the greater good by keeping the damn thing alive on Earth. And that's where I'm at with the whole animal husbandry thing. And I felt bad after that one stream I had called you. And I was asking you, man, was I arrogant? Was I being a dick? Because I made the comment of the majority of stuff on YouTube that I see the fish people doing, I laugh at it because it was stuff that I did in the 8th grade. And I don't care if you got 2 million subs. I haven't seen anything yet really on the internet that impresses me. Like they not on my level. The people that I want access to is the old white guys, the scientists and stuff, the doctors, the people who can get me on a plane in the jungle catching malaria to find, Hemigraphis blairi and Hemigraphis rhodostomus in the same trip. I'm not going to say nothing else. If you're a nerd, you know what I'm talking about. And that's what I'm trying to get access to. And it does suck that I got to weed through the impressions. Everybody does. We all have to do this in life. And what you said, it is disheartening. We waste so much time, like you could cut out the middleman of the nonsense and say, hey, we all like fish, and then go from there. Just because you like fish don't mean you a good person. You see what I'm saying? And just because you got a lot of subs don't mean you know a lot about fish. So everything you said was true. I started using the books. You know why I started using the books? Because of that. We not supposed to be smart. So when you got somebody that look like me saying some shit like, no, you got 2 of them, right? You got Hemigraphis rhodostomus and you got Hemigraphis blairi. And they looking at me like, who the hell are you? What the hell are you talking about? Why don't I know that? And why do you know it? So they resort to some socio-political arbitrary nonsense that I won't entertain. And they basically say, shut up. They discount you. They minimize you. They discredit you. So I said and started doing this. And I've been doing it since I was a wee youngin'. And that's where I'm at with it. You see, like the internet's forever. So I can just talk my nerd stuff and it'll be there for somebody who's looking for it. That's it. There's no sense in wasting time arguing about freaking animal husbandry. If you're you're doing something right, go from there.
I just think there's more value to you sharing your personal experience,
right,
and allowing people to either learn from it or not, but to try to make it all coming, and that's the only thing. That's where And the problem is not even that, because you really watch the stuff. It's again the clickbait. They were trying that's the only thing that unfortunately if you're in this and you're creating content and everybody's fighting for the same amount of views, they resort to that. But
I'm glad because we broke the mold. We said we wasn't gonna talk about it no more. We both did it because it's so irritating. I'm not gonna do it again. What I want to say to you guys is follow us, man. Hit me up. Hit George up. Hit us up on look at our handles at Warrior Planet Tanks. That's everything that's Instagram. It's Warrior Planet Tanks on Gmail. If you want to send me an email, if you got a question, I'm pulling research all the time. All the time. I have access to research behind paywalls as well. So I'm pulling research. In the future, with George, we're going to start gearing more toward sharing the research we have to elicit inspiration, to get some stuff buzzing in the echelons of the hobby, number one. And number two, we're going to start teaching y'all how to research, how to look for credible sources, how to go from here to here, because it's intimidating.
Yeah, how to discern information that's out there.
You know, and how to put it all together. And basically, having a bunch of anecdotal knowledge is good, but if you can't apply it to something actionable and practical, it's just a bunch of anecdotal knowledge. So hit me up on Instagram. I'm on Instagram. Look on my YouTube. I do little shorts and stuff, but I do nerd stuff on my channel. I really don't care too much about the flexing. I do try to make it not boring because I feel like biology is boring unless you in the mud. So, and it's just me, you know, I'm like that. So like rock with us. And what I'm saying is we are approachable. I'm approachable. It don't have to just be Fish Plancy Moss. You can go hit up George. George is the most approachable cat I know. He approached me because I don't do YouTube, but I've done this with him since we started, and it's cool. You know, I'll do little shorts on my channel. If I got enough footage together to put a good video together, I'll give y'all 20, 30 minutes worth, but that's what you get from me. You know, I'm a busy man. What's your links? What do you prefer? You Instagram for you? Is it YouTube? The gram, would you say?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, I check them all. I always looking. I get all the notifications for whenever they drop something. Only reason I don't get on there something is either because I do work shift work, so sometimes I'm sleeping during the day, and sometimes midday. But as soon as I get an opportunity, I always try to get back. Leave a comment, leave a response. Just trying to get more involved, trying to, what little knowledge that I do have, I'm more than happy to share with everybody. So, I don't have a problem. I like Steve said, I reach out a lot of people. I'm always scouring YouTube, looking for smaller channels that are up and coming and seeing what they're doing and trying to support them, because that was done for me when I was starting. So I'm
just seeing if I still got it, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm always looking to try to just be helpful, be supportive. I know this hobby can sometimes be a little bit frustrating when things don't go our way, but it's just we learn from them. That's the biggest thing, is to learn what went wrong. That could, well, that's the other thing. You got to learn. If it's only one fish that you lost and the rest are okay, sometimes it's just genetics. Everything could have been right. But if you lose an entire tank, then that's when you really got to start being concerned and going, okay, what is going wrong?
Right.
Because even with losses, you got to be discerning too. You got to understand, is it just a question of just it's time? Or is it something that you're doing? And
bro. And I mean, it common sense. At the end of the day, what you just said, bro, if you still trying to learn how to keep fish alive, this conversation is past you. I'm sorry. So I got a treat for y'all. So like one of the hot ones, one of the hot natives in the hobby right now, and I was laughing because I was trying to see if I still got it because I be in the bushes. So right now I'm in the bushes because we only got a little bit of time. And now Jeff, please hit me up, Jeff, real quick. This is for you too, Jeff. So I'm in the bushes and I'm a little kid and I see a fish, right? And let's say, based on my little anecdotal knowledge, I kind of got an idea what I think it is. So now I'm gonna try to make sure. I done got all muddy, ruined my clothes. I done earned my ass whooping for that day because I will get beat. Fuck it, but I got that little bitch. I'm looking at him in my little jar. Okay, I think it's this. I think it's a golden wonder killie. I think it's this. I'm gonna look. So I hit the index first. I find it. Then I find the plate. And if it's a plate, I'm like, yes, I got a color picture. Then that's one finger, as you can see. That's one finger. Then from there, I put that finger there. Then I go to the page where the description is. That's the next finger. I find it. So the fish I pull for y'all is the rainbow shiner. That's hot in the street right now.
Yep.
And I'm so angry. And all the people on Rainbow Shiner, I'd be like, man, go fuck yourself. Because when I was a little kid, they were making fun of me and telling me to shut up because my black ass had no business being articulate, intelligent. And now all these cocksuckers got rainbow shiners and it's cool. So here's the rainbow shiner. And it is Notropis chromosomus. And you got your identification. You got your range. You got your similar species. All right here. And then you go to the actual fish. And all the similar species is on there. Look at that.
Yep.
And there he is. The rainbow shiner with all the
other mineral
species in his clade. And look, that's why I tell people to go F themselves because that ain't the prettiest one, as y'all can see. Idiots always trying to jump on a trend and smoke pole. I don't like pole smokers. Just saying. But Jeff, please hit me up. I'm gonna go and pull some research for you that you can take a look at some hardcore Wisconsin fish. I have Minnesota and I have Michigan, and I ain't trying to start no cross-border rivalry, so I'm gonna find one for Wisconsin. But that went to the effect of saying, like, we're approachable. Hit us up. Like, we want community. Use us. Yep. Talk to us. This is the grassroots. This is how it's built. I will not sensationalize. I'm a grown-ass man. I call screen. I do emails. I handle business professionally. Everything is not freaking shoving a camera in it or trying to do a freaking collab to get subs. Please do not contact me asking for help for your social media. I'm just going to make that clear. I will talk to you for 5 hours until my phone dies if it's about fish or raising kids or what kind of whiskey you like or anything else. Do not contact me asking me anything about social media, please. But I am extremely approachable, and I'm low-key throwing out the grand invitation to say, hey, if you guys are serious about fish, if you guys are serious about the hobby, if you're a mature, responsible adult, I would love to have a conversation with you guys, to interact with you guys. And if a friendship blossoms from it, that's good too. You know, with that, George, you got anything you want to add?
Nope. I think this covers it pretty much. Again, I'm on vacation, so I'm ready to go enjoy the rest of my vacation.
Yeah. Drink one. Hey, how's the tequila para allá?
Good, but I prefer mezcal, so I've been doing all the mezcales.
What get you next is the mezcal. Did you get something like some good? Like you can't get it nowhere else? Like.
Yep. It's Creyente. It's called Kush. I'll send you pictures.
You read my mind. What's happening, bro?
I'll do that.
I'll hit you later, G.
All right, man. You guys take care.
Be safe out there, George. Tell Miss Liz,
All right.
thank you for putting up with it. Happy birthday. And thank you for telling me happy birthday too.
You guys
Peace.
take care. Later.
Already, man.